News 11, local first.
We have several breaking stories this evening. We have the latest information in the case of Jesse Davis Roberts. Plus, the man accused of beating 3 elderly women in their Ephrata home was in court today. We'll tell you how he faced the charges against him. But we begin tonight with a potentially armed person barricaded in an Ephrata apartment. Good evening and thank you for joining me. I'm Peter Taraborelli. Ephrata police and other law enforcement officials are currently at the scene of a standoff in the 800 block of West Main Street. According to Lieutenant Thomas Shoemaker, Ephrata police received a call at around 12:30 this afternoon from someone who heard shots fired inside the apartment complex.
We've evacuated the building and set up a perimeter. We're in the process of trying to make contact with one resident in the apartment building we have not been able to account for.
The 800 blocks of West Main Street, Academy Heights Road, and the ramps to 272 were closed. News 11 will have more details on this developing story as it becomes available. Cable 11 has learned tonight that Jesse Davis Roberts, the 58-year-old former president of the Rothsville Fire Department, is deceased. Roberts was facing charges of corruption of minors and indecent exposure stemming from accusations leading back to 1984. You may remember Roberts allegedly stepped into oncoming traffic along Route 30 back in January. Roberts' hearing was scheduled for this morning. However, sources say he stepped in front of a tractor trailer along I-81 in Dauphin County last night and was pronounced dead at the scene. We will have more on this story as it develops. And now to an update on the Derek Holt case. According to reports, the 24-year-old accused of beating and torturing 3 elderly Mennonite sisters in their Ephrata home pled guilty this morning in court to multiple counts of robbery, burglary, aggravated assault, and related charges. He admitted to entering the women's home on December 14th of last year, beating and binding them and ransacking their home. Holt's sentencing hearing will take place within 2 or 3 months. He faces maximum penalties that could land him in prison for life. An Lititz woman has been sentenced to probation for stealing more than $100,000 from her mother. According to reports, 68-year-old Mary Ann Logan will serve 8 years on probation. Back in 2009, Logan began to drain her 95-year-old mother's bank account while caring for her here at 52 Penwick Drive in Lititz. The scam went on for 3 years and ended last summer with Logan's arrest. Logan pled guilty Wednesday to felony theft. A judge also ordered Logan to pay back $98,251 she still owes her mother. We have details about an accident in Ephrata Township yesterday afternoon involving students from the Ephrata Area School District. Police say at around 3:45, this 15-passenger Ford van carrying the students collided with a Ford Explorer truck at the intersection of Parkview Heights and Akron Road. The driver of the van reportedly didn't see the SUV coming and pulled out into its path.
There were 7 children in the van and 2 adults. None of the children were injured. The passenger adult was injured and being transported. As far as who's at fault, I don't know yet. It's an ongoing police investigation as far as who's at fault.
The children were able to board another van and continue their trip home. Police say they seemed calm and in good spirits. Representative Mindy Fee of the 37th District is reminding parents, guardians, and grandparents about a program that helps save families money for college. The Pennsylvania Treasury sponsored what's called the 529 College Savings Program, which offers a range of resources designed to help families and students save for college and deal with rising tuition rates. Individuals can enroll for free starting today. The promotion is only good through tomorrow, though.
It's a great way for people to prepare for their kids' college education or to have your grandparents help pay. I mean, I was fortunate enough. My parents opened up an account for my kids, and as I'm in the throes of college right now, you can imagine it comes in quite useful.
Representative Fee says it's the best way to start putting money away in an account when children are young, and any amount can be added to the funds that could go toward tuition, certain room and board costs, required books, and supplies. More information can be found online. It certainly was a hot one out there today, but the breeze helped a little bit. But it was the humidity that was brutal. Let's check in with Carl Kern to see what the rest of the week looks like.
Well, Peter, another day of midsummer heat. In fact, we're approaching 90 degrees once again today, expecting to do the same on Friday as well as Saturday with little chance of rain. There have been a few very isolated pop-up, quick-moving showers to our west during the day today. But for now, we're not looking at any widespread shower or thunderstorm activity this afternoon or this evening. But that will change, especially as we move into the second half of the weekend. And with violent weather returning to the midsection of the country once again, it looks as though we could be in for some pretty sizable thunderstorms as we move into that second half of the weekend. I'll let you know what this last few days of May has in store. Your forecast coming up, Peter.
All right, see you soon. Well, Hannah Sitze made her way to the semifinal round in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. At stake could be numerous cash prizes and savings bonds. Yesterday, Hannah Sitze, 7th grader at St. Anne's Catholic School, made it through the preliminary round. Now today, live on ESPN, she was challenged with a word meaning eulogy at a Jewish memorial.
What's the language of origin again?
Hebrew.
Hebrew. Okay.
Not a big clue
Hesped.
there.
Can I start over?
Sure.
H-E S-P-E-D, Hesped.
Now, even though Hannah spelled her word correctly, Hannah did not accumulate enough points in the written portion of the bee, so she will not be in tomorrow night's final round. Well, here at Cable 11, we would still like to congratulate Hannah. Even making it to the bee is an honor, and you accomplished a lot more than I could. Way to go. Well, stay with us. Coming up after the break, we will meet an award-winning teacher in our area who's shown dedication to her school and her students. Plus, the Susquehanna Association for the Blind is asking for your old and out-of-date prescription glasses. This is an odd request that's going towards a cause. We'll tell you what it is coming up. Another teacher from our Mother of Perpetual Help School in Ephrata has received recognition from the Diocese of Harrisburg for her dedication to her students and school. We checked with her and her class to see what she thinks about winning a Golden Apple. Beth Eberly is a second grade teacher at OMPH School and the newest winner of the Golden Apple Award.
In order to win the award, you have to be nominated by either a fellow teacher, parents, or an administrator, and so some parents from last year nominated me.
When asked how she feels about the award, Beth simply says she's humbled and honored.
I'm extremely humbled. Obviously, when you're a teacher, you don't do it alone. You need the support of the parents. Obviously, you need lots of fellow teachers who you bounce ideas off and share ideas with, and of course the kids.
We asked several of her current students what makes Miss Eberly so special.
She is a good teacher, very good teacher, and she's just very good at teaching. I think she really deserves it because she's a really good teacher and she helps us when we have problems a lot.
But the award won't go to her head. Ms. Eberly says she's going to continue to be just as dedicated as ever.
The job is never boring. It's always exciting. There's always new things down the road. So yeah, just keep on keeping on.
Well, congratulations for that. Well, in an effort to assist a fellow agency, the Susquehanna Valley Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired is answering a call for used prescription glasses. A group called New View Oklahoma offers similar services for the visually impaired, and they contacted at SABV requesting for outdated glasses to be given to tornado victims whose glasses may have been lost or damaged.
One of the items was they really desperately need used eyeglasses for their clients, their neighbors, employees, anyone that was affected by the tornadoes. So we knew we could help.
The Oklahoma Blind Association will work with local doctors to match the glasses with patients or grind down the lenses and recycle the frames for those in need. SABV boxed up a huge donation today.
It will basically help anyone in Oklahoma that needs eyeglasses, especially everyone affected by the tornadoes. We have thousands of pairs of glasses that will be sent out tomorrow.
While this eyeglass drive is over, SABV has partnered with Area Lions clubs to collect glasses year-round at various pharmacies and doctors' offices. Contact SABV for more information. Well, another local organization is stepping up to help the victims in Oklahoma. When the culinary students at YTI Career Institute in Lancaster heard about the devastation in Oklahoma, they decided to hold several bake sales to raise money for victims. It was the perfect recipe, putting their skills to good use, all while learning new techniques.
So the first term made cookies and brownies, the second term made classical cakes, and the third term we had kind of layered mousse cakes and then pizza and focaccia and things like that. So every one of our groups was able to participate in a different way.
The fundraiser concluded yesterday. Chef Nodder says they hoped to raise about $1,000. All of the proceeds go to the American Red Cross. Well, coming up after the break, we'll find out what a group of women were doing in Lancaster Regional Hospital last night, plus this.
Pool chemical injuries send thousands to the ER each year. I'm Erica Blatt for News 11, and coming up, find out why it's important to keep pool water clean.
But first, good news on Wall Street as stocks closed up. The Dow gained 21, the Nasdaq rose almost 24, and the S&P added 6.
News 11 weather with Carl Kern, Local First.
May coming to a very warm end. If you're keeping score at home and you did hit 90 yesterday and you're there again today, it's a good chance you can pencil in that first heat wave of the year for the month of May. And then I think we're all going to see this hot weather come to a quick and unfortunately maybe a violent end with more gusty thunderstorms. If we recall a week or so ago, we had some very intense weather in parts of the state last Thursday into Friday. And we could do it all over again Sunday afternoon into early Monday, as we're going to be taking this warm air that we have in place, unseasonably warm, midsummer heat, 90-degree temperatures, and yes, Chris Blose out there today on a great, I mean, it's not excessively humid right now, but we're going to see John Hershey out there, Creek Road, Warwick Township today. My apologies to John on a nice day, but you notice that creek, and this is something I've been noticing, these waterways not moving very quickly, and already at low midsummer levels with this midsummer heat. It's late May. I love the reflection in the water, but we need more of that water. You need to drink lots of water. You need to keep the plants watered. You need to keep the pets watered. You need to keep the kids watered at the baseball games, wherever they are outside playing, because it is extremely warm. We don't have a lot of air moving, and as that humidity increases pretty noticeably over the next 48 hours, we're going to have to really make sure you keep well hydrated. But we have a very isolated area of pop-up shower. I mean, this is very small in nature. There's not much out there, but there could be an isolated, quick-moving just burst of rain, and then the sun will come back out and it'll feel much more humid. But the midsummer heat is with us. It will be for the next few days, getting the weekend, the first weekend of June underway. Lancaster officially a degree shy of 90. I wouldn't be surprised if we get there within the next 5 minutes or so, because Reading 90, Ephrata 91, Harrisburg 88, York 87, Lebanon 90. So again, wherever, depending on where you are, you're going to have that first heat wave of the year going on right now. And the dew points, they're up there. That's going to mean with 60, when the dew point is 65, that means there's a lot of moisture in the air, and you're not going to see overnight temperatures go much lower than those 60s. And that warm air is in place all across the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, on up into New England. Overnight lows, 72 in Boston, 67 in Maine, 72 in Washington, D.C. But it's what's on the way for the second half of the weekend that I really want to focus on, because here we go again. Same scenario, large upper level counterclockwise rotation, upper level low pressure, bringing in unseasonably cool air from this backside, dragging it in and under, and that's what creates your severe weather. You have tornado watches in over almost 10 states right now, through the Midwest, from Wisconsin all the way down to northern Texas. So at some point, this whole thing shifts eastward into late Sunday. And we, not to say that we're going to have tornadoes, but you're going to have perhaps severe thunderstorm activity for the second half of the weekend, and that could even extend into late Saturday. So just be aware of that if you're making plans for this weekend. I know summer, limited weekends, we all try to get things done, and this weekend's going to be kind of another split call, because it's going to go downhill quickly, I think. But we start off pretty nice. We still have another great day tomorrow, lots of sunshine, summer-like temperatures, and then widely isolated showers, but it doesn't look like we're really going to see anything of any significance coming in here until the second half of the weekend. That first heat wave is well underway, and we're going to cool things down. When you go from 90 to 70, you're going to have a lot of dynamics there in the atmosphere, and that's what we have penciled in for Sunday. Sunday afternoon, especially anytime after noon, you could really see a strong thunderstorm as we go from near 90 down to the mid-70s, Peter, and expecting cooler temperatures to get next week started, but still, it is going to be very warm for the next few days. Just take it easy. Light colored, loose fitting clothing, plenty of water, you know the drill. Feels like summer already for the final days of May, Peter.
Can't wait to take the doors off the Jeep. Thanks, Carl. Well, warm weather is perfect for a dip in the pool, but is the water you're diving into safe for swimming? News 11's Erica Blatt has more on what it takes to keep a pool sanitary.
The State Department of Health requires pool owners to check the water's chemicals a minimum of twice a day.
By testing the water, it's letting us know, first of all, if the chemicals are going into the pool. Sometimes you get water in the hoses or air bubbles in the hoses, and the chemicals aren't pumping. So it gives us an idea of where our chemicals are.
The pH balance of pool water should be between 7.4 and 7.5 to keep water clean and safe for swimming.
Sometimes we have to adjust the chemicals so overnight they balance out for the morning.
We find that people don't shower before they come in here, so they've got their body oils, and then the sunscreen adds to it, and it sticks on the sides of the pool, so we end up having to scrub the sides of the pool to get that off frequently.
While body oil is not responsible for dirty water, an imbalance in the pool's toxic chemicals can cause skin, eye, and lung irritation. Swimmers are encouraged to not ingest, inhale, or have contact with contaminated water.
The microorganisms and things like that, the pathogens that are loose, is not the slime and the other stuff, it's the little microorganisms that can be hazardous.
Pool chemicals make the water safe by keeping germs away, but these same chemicals can cause injuries if not properly handled. For News 11, I'm Erica Blatt.
Thank you, Erica. Well, Heart of Lancaster Regional Medical Center hosted its 3rd annual Women's Night Out last night. From wine tastings to massages, women enjoyed a buffet of activities. They also had the opportunity to discuss health issues with physicians and even got to try out the Da Vinci surgical system, putting themselves in the shoes of a surgeon.
Allow the women to basically test drive it just like a surgeon would use the actual machine that they use. So they can really learn what robotic surgery is and that it's not something to be scared of.
The event concluded with a presentation on women's health. It was the perfect blend of fun and education. Well, Chad's here with sports now and an exciting game on the softball field yesterday.
That's right, a rain-delayed semifinal matchup for the ladies of Manheim Central finally back on the field for the District 3 tournament, looking to take down the #1 seed on Wednesday. That would be Twin Valley, and this one was an absolute slugfest. Find out whose offense came out on top. That's coming up in sports. And we begin with a slugfest in the District 3 softball semifinals yesterday. The defending two-time champion Manheim Central Barons trying to bring down the top seed Twin Valley and defend that district crown. Barons trying to book their ticket once again to the AAA title game, and they don't waste any time getting on the board. Erica High ropes one to left. That double drives in the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 Central. 2 batters later, it's the senior leader, Rachel Clippinger, blooping one out to right. High scampers on home, and the Barons have a 2-0 lead. The game would remain tight, however, 4-3 Central in the bottom of the 4th. Raiders looking to tie it up, but how about that catch by Abby Weaver out in right field to rob Twin Valley of a tying run. Still a 1-run game. Then we go to the top of the 5th, Central looking for more, and it's Weaver using her bat this time. A hard hit to short, another run scores. 5-3 Manheim, looking good there, but Twin Valley would prove to be just too much. They would tie it up on this 2-run blast and eventually take a 6-5 lead. And that's how it would end. The Barons season not over just yet. They now face a familiar foe, Donegal, in a 3rd-place game today. Winner of this game earns a spot in the state tournament. First pitch was 4:30 at Lebanon Valley College. Right now it's Donegal with the slim margin, 1-0 lead in the 6th inning. We'll have all the highlights of this knockout game tonight at 10 o'clock. One Manheim Central team that's already in the state tournament is boys volleyball, looking for some success this year. They've lost in the first round of states the last 2 years. Trying to force a different result Wednesday, though, against Western Wayne. Barons leading big in the first game, everybody getting involved here. Nate Ginder slams one off the block, it drops in bounds. Central wins game 1, 25-11. In game 2, check this out as sophomore Tucker Ford, quick off the floor, sends it home for a winner. His team is loving it, and it's all Central on the evening. Braden Fonstock rejects one at the net here. Barons sweep the match 3-0, and they know it's now or never.
This is our 3rd year. A lot of the guys on the team are seniors. We've all been together for the past 3 years, and we wanted to move on farther than we ever have. You know, we have to go all out, and it feels good to win tonight knowing that this is our last chance to play.
They're having fun, and they're doing what they've been trained to do the last 4 years, and you see that when they're going through the, not going through the motions, but going through the rotations. They know what they need to do. They know how they need to block. They know who's going to get the ball. So it's just a matter of making plays at this point.
Next up for the Barons, the #1 seed out of District 2, Holy Redeemer. That's on Saturday in the quarterfinals. The game is at Minersville Area High School at 1:30 p.m. Also moving on in the PIAA State Volleyball Tournament, the Lancaster Mennonite Blazers, they won easily last night, sweeping the #1 seed out of District 12, Masterman, 3-0 in the quarterfinal round on Saturday. LMH gets the second place team out of District 7, Derry, and that game starts at 5 p.m. at Hollidaysburg High School. In the Atlantic League Baseball, the Lancaster Barnstormers had a busy day yesterday playing a pair of games after a washout on Tuesday. They split the doubleheader with Somerset taking the first game 3-2 on a Ryan Harvey home run. That's his 10th of the season. They dropped the second game 8-0. So Barnstormers going for the series win this morning at Somerset, but they just can't get the job done. Lancaster loses 9-1 to wrap up the series and then comes home tomorrow to begin a 4-game series with the Bridgeport Bluefish. First pitch is 7 o'clock tomorrow. As for the York Revolution, their record moves over the 500 mark on the season after back-to-back wins against the Bridgeport Bluefish. The final game of that series is tonight in Bridgeport before Bridgeport flies home to Lancaster for the weekend. Game there is a 7:05 start. And finally, some soccer news. The Reading United Football Club of the Player Development League still alive in the U.S. Open Cup. They took down the Harrisburg City Islanders last week to advance, facing the New York Red Bulls of the MLS last night. The game was scoreless at the half, but the Red Bulls pull away after that. A 2-0 victory ends Reading United's hopes of claiming the Lamar Hunt Trophy. And that'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.
Well, mothers had their special day a few weeks ago, and now it's almost time to honor the men in our lives. Once again, Blue Ridge Communications and News 11 are hosting the essay contest, Why My Father Is So Special. It's your chance to tell us all about your dad, maybe even pass along some of his life advice. You can submit your essay online to cable11.com. The father of the winning essay will receive a $100 gift card to Ace Hardware in Ephrata and a gift certificate to Applebee's. Deadline to submit is June 7th. Well, now, Chad, you've got a couple of updates for us?
Yeah, the Manheim Central Donegal game, we are getting up to the second scores. Donegal just took a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the sixth, so it's the last chance here for Manheim Central. If they lose, unfortunately, their season's over.
All right, we'll hope they pull through.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Peter Taraborelli.
And I'm Chad Landers. Have a great night.